What's going on, guys? Parker here, and I'm back with another video, and today I got my top 4 NBA player props for the day. And before we get in this video, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel down below. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment on this video down below, because all those things really help the channel out a ton and really help push my content out to more and more people each and every single day, so I really would appreciate it. And yeah, guys, we got 4 NBA player props today. We got a decently sized Friday NBA slate. And before we do get into today's plays real quick, I did want to mention that Sleeper has a free Jason Tatum square tonight for new users. You can get access to this free Jason Tatum square as well as an 100% match on your first deposit up to $100 when you use code FF23. That's code FF23 on Sleeper. So make sure to sign up for Sleeper today. Make sure to use code FF23. And without further ado, let's get right into today's plays. So first off, I got LeBron James over 21.5 points versus the Hawks, minus 125 on DraftKings. He's over this line in 13 of his last 15 matchups versus the Hawks. The Hawks have allowed the 10th most points per game in the NBA to power forwards this season. Line is way too low. James should soar over here. I know he was struggling as of late before last game. However, this line is just too low versus a Hawks defense that is not very good whatsoever. This is definitely a matchup that James should be able to exploit, and James should be able to have a good game in. I think he's going to have a good game here. So LeBron James over 21.5 points versus the Hawks, minus 125 on DraftKings is my first play of the day. Next up, I got Damian Lillard over 23.5 points versus the Celtics, minus 115 on DraftKings. So the Celtics are allowing the 6th most points per game in the NBA to point guards so far this season. He's over this line in 9 out of his last 12 versus the Celtics. The Celtics play fast-paced, which will lead to more three-point opportunities and attempts, and more opportunities overall for Lillard. I think this is going to be a good game for Lillard. I think Lillard is going to have high volume. He's going to get a lot of shots up. And in turn, I think that's going to lead to a lot of scoring from Damian Lillard tonight. So Damian Lillard over 23.5 points versus the Celtics, minus 115 on DraftKings is my second play of the day. Next up, I got DeMar DeRozan over 29.5 PRA versus the Spurs, minus 115 on DraftKings. So he's over this line with ease in both matchups this season versus the Spurs. DeRozan loves to face off versus his former team. He's over this line in 12 of his 18 games so far this season. So DeMar DeRozan has been extremely dominant this year. He's been extremely good overall. And I think he's going to go over in a good matchup, a favorable matchup versus the Spurs tonight. So DeMar DeRozan over 29.5 PRA versus the Spurs, minus 115 on DraftKings is my third play of the day. Next up, I got Nikola Vucevic over 31.5 points plus rebounds versus the Pacers, minus 120 on Bet365. So Vooch is over this line in 2 out of his last 3 games. He's over this line in 2 out of his last 3 matchups versus the Pacers. Pacers allowed the 8th most points per game in the NBA to centers this season. The Pacers allow the 5th most rebounds per game in the NBA to centers this season. Overall, this is a very favorable matchup for Nikola Vucevic, a matchup that he should be able to have a big game in. I think he's going to have a big game here and perform well. So Nikola Vucevic over 31.5 points plus rebounds versus the Pacers, minus 120 on Bet365 is my fourth and final play. So those were my top 4 NBA player props for the day. Like I said, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more content from me moving forward, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. Give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment on this video down below, because all of those things really help the channel out a ton and really help push my content out to more and more people each and every single day. So I really would appreciate it. But yeah, guys, that's really all I got for today's video. I hope you all did enjoy. And without further ado, I'll see you on the next one.